Good evening. I'm Sharon Schaub, Council President. I'm sitting in for our Mayor, Frank Lonergan. I'd like to call this meeting to order and would Councilor Wilt please lead the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Councillor Cornwell.
Present.
Councillor Bravo.
Present.
Councillor Schaub.
Present.
Councillor Wilk.
Present.
Councillor Cantu.
Here.
Councillor Grijalva.
Present.
Mayor Lonergan.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We have no announcements. We have no appointments. And we have no proclamations or presentations. We have a presenter for a recognition for Kiwani of the Year. Yanira Hera, is she here?
Yeah,
Where?
I think the Kiwanian president is here though,
Yes.
this year. It's a mystery how Curtis got to be Kiwanian president, but he's here. I know Jesse is also president of Rotary this year. I just wanted to mention that. Not really part of the presentation, Madam Council President, but as we look for Yanira, maybe Curtis can come up and talk a bit about what an honor. Yeah.
There we go. Good afternoon, Council. I'm going to just kind of stand up here and address everybody. Kiwanis Club of Woodburn, which I am the incoming president, and Toby Hayback was actually the past president who actually nominated her for this award. And I just want to give a little bit of a briefing about the Kiwanis Club as I'm supposed to as president so that I can make everybody aware of it. So the Kiwanis Club of Woodburn is one of two clubs here in town. Our club meets during lunch and we have about 40 members. So the Kiwanis Club is a global network of volunteer clubs focused on serving children and the communities that they serve, projects and fundraising for. It was founded in 1915. The organization is dedicated to the improvement of lives of children by supporting local and worldwide initiatives such as building playgrounds, funding scholarships, and assisting families in need. Kiwanis also does sponsorships for clubs of all ages, including the Key Club and Kids Club at the elementary level. So our group does a lot of the fundraising. All of the money that we raise for fundraising goes directly to those projects. So we don't use that money for anything else other than specifically for that. We have to raise money separately to support our club if we need to support it. So with that, every year the president will pick someone within the organization that shows exemplary services or something out of the ordinary that person does. And last year, Yanira Herrera was the one that was picked by our past president. So you want to come up and say something maybe?
Yeah, I might point out that Yanira is stuck in traffic and apparently she'll be here in just a few minutes.
I only have a few minutes to talk. I mean, I only have a few things to say. As Curtis said, the outgoing president picks the Kiwanian of the Year. And Yanira has just been excellent this year. She's been our secretary and wonderful notes, attends all the meetings. And this is in spite of or in addition to having a baby. So she did so good for us. I was so pleased to have her be our president or our Kiwanian of the Year. And she actually agreed to continue to be the secretary, even though Curtis was elected as president, but so just kidding. And you wonder why he's president? Because he was the one I could strong arm the hardest. So, well, I'm running out of jokes to talk about here. Yeah. And you can see, yeah, you can see the plaque that we had done. It's really a nice plaque, and she's going to keep it here in, I guess, in a case for and we'll pass it on to the next year's president.
So I will say one thing, Yanira may be in the running for it next year as well, because as president, my first meeting, I got this detailed list of what I needed to talk about, what I needed to say, when I needed to say it. So she's got me whipped into shape already. So it's going to be, she's already thinking she might be the one with the second name on this plaque.
When she does the minutes for any meeting, right on the bottom of it, everybody that attended it has some job, she lists that job, you know, and it's her notes are just amazing to me. It keeps me in line. So that's why I was so pleased to have her be our Kiwanian of the Year. But
Yeah, we can recognize Yanira when she's here in a few more minutes. And Madam Council President, I think I spoke. I said Curtis was current president, but actually I think it's no.
No.
No, I'm incoming president.
Incoming. Oh, I see. Okay. Who understands how Kiwanians work anyway? Right. Right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll just hope she gets here soon. The next item under presentation is going to be postponed until our next council meeting. And the next item on the agenda, actually, I see somebody coming in the door.
Oh, wait a minute.
There she is.
Hey,
Yay!
time is impeccable.
Complete that kid in a tub.
Yanira and friends. Is that the youngest Kiwanian in the?
Yes, already got it signed up.
Now's your chance, Jesse.
So you missed all the good things that we said about you, but so you can go back and watch the council meeting and catch all the good stuff. Anyway, with that, go ahead. I'll let you.
well, as we talked about before you came in, we were so pleased. I am so pleased to have named you as Kiwanian because you were really a great skill of help to us. And another thing that she did is she navigated our computer system of keeping track of records, and it is the worst thing to get into. So she did well with that. So anyway, I am so pleased with you to be.
Yeah. Again, congratulations. That's great. Okay, the next item on the agenda is communication, and I'm going to turn this over to our.
Yeah, thanks, Council President Schaub. The council has the ability to manage its own agenda, and so we're suggesting that item 14A be moved to now. And then at the conclusion of that, the council would come back and reconvene in regular session. I think it would just simply take a motion from the council to conduct the exec session.
Make that motion.
Yes, I would move that we move into executive session under the authority of ORS 192-662B.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
Okay. And just for the audience and people watching, the council will come back and resume in a regular session and complete the meeting.
Right. Thank you. The city council has returned from executive session. No action by the council while an executive session was taken. So now we're going to move back to our original agenda where that's business from the public. And looks, I have one speaker, Max Rosenthal. So Max, if you'd like to come up, please, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
On.
Yes.
You
Talk
kind of
right
have to
in.
talk closer
to it?
Work.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, honorable council members. My name is Max Rosenthal, and I'm here representing the members of the ASME union that work for the city of Woodburn. I'm here today to advocate for fair union wages for our members, not only because some of us are struggling financially, but also because it benefits the Woodburn community. I've only worked at the city of Woodburn for 3 years, and I've only been a union steward for an even shorter amount of time. But in this time, I have seen and heard my colleagues struggle to make ends meet while still providing essential services to this city. They've talked to me about not being able to afford new shoes and clothes for their children and how they can't afford necessary maintenance for their personal vehicles. They've shared how they pick up extra unrelated work on the weekends to support their families, and some trusted me enough to share that sometimes they attend food banks to provide meals for their families. In an interview with the Statesman Journal on July 25th of this year, the city commented, "Woodburn is in good financial shape. And while the city experienced a 93.7% increase in general fund expenditures for fiscal year 24 to 25, and the contingencies and reserves funds increased 33% from the previous year, our members do not share the same sentiment with their compensation. A recent wage study done by city administration was provided at the start of bargaining, and it showed that AFSCME has members who are 11% to 30% under the average for comparable cities at step 1 and 11% to 20% under the average at step 8. Union wages are not just benefits for workers, they can also be an economic driver for the city. When our members earn more, they spend more locally. They go to lunch, they run more errands in the afternoon, they go to dinner as well for those that live here, and they support small businesses within the community, a community which has grown by 2,238 living units since 2020 and an estimated 19.6% population increase by the end of 2025. This rapid influx of new residents creates an increased strain on the city's infrastructure and staff. There's more customers to assist, more information to review, more water to provide, more wastewater to treat, and so on. Investing in our workers is a direct investment in the safety and well-being of every resident. By ensuring fair wages, the city can attract and retain experienced and knowledgeable employees who provide the high-quality services that the city deserves. Our latest proposal, dated September 11th, that I'm assuming the city administration just shared with you, would cost the city an additional estimated $83,000 or 0.23% of this year's budget per year, compared to the previous T8 proposal on August 14th. We ask that you support our proposal for fair and equitable wage increases in this year's and future years' budgets. By supporting fair union wages, you are choosing to invest in the people who provide clean drinking water, clean and maintain our streets, keep city facilities functioning, maintain police records, process permits and provide inspections, preserve our parks, keep our toilets flushing, handle city finances, cultivate our library, and support management in many other ways.
Time.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We're moving on to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered routine and may be adopted by one motion. Any item to be removed for discussion at the request of a council member. City recorder.
The items on the consent agenda are as follows. Woodburn City Council minutes of September 22nd, 2025. New development activity for September 2025. And a liquor license application for Taqueria Don Jose LLC.
Thank you. Adoption of this requires a motion and a second. So somebody would like to make a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is passed. Table business, we have none. And going on to general business, members of the public, I think we've already, I'm sorry, members of the public wishing to comment on items of general business must complete and submit a speaker card to the city recorder prior to commencing this portion of the council's agenda. Comment time may be limited by mayoral prerogative, which is 3 minutes. So the next item is our Parks and Community Center naming adoption. And I think we have.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
Jesse here
Yes.
to talk
Jeff.
about the naming committee. And we also have Kathy Figley in the audience, whose name happens to appear on this list as well. Let's see.
Oh. Good evening, Council President, City Council, Jesse Cuomo, Community Services Director. So tonight I'm going to have a quick, well, I have a slideshow. I don't know how quick it'll be, about a community center and park naming recommendations for the council. So kind of a quick agenda here. We have the timeline, the criteria in which the park naming was formed, the committee members, and then naming recommendations for you all to consider. So in July, the council adopted park naming process, as well as the ad hoc committee, as we've done in previous sessions with naming public spaces. September 4th, kind of post our summer busy time, we had our first meeting with our committee, which I'll identify here in a moment. And then September 30th, we had our second meeting. I'm very proud to say, and we did not rush this, but it was very efficient, and the group was fantastic to work with. So we were able to really accomplish this in 2 meetings, when I think it could have been much more in some cases. So, and then we're here tonight to provide names for recommendation and adoption. Naming criteria, which you're aware of from the last when we adopted the actual committee. I'm not going to review them all here tonight, but I just wanted to present them for this presentation and for those watching online or who choose to watch in the future. So the committee, as shown here on the screen, we had Mayor Frank Lonergan, Mary Beth, Councilmember Cornwell, Councilmember Bravo. We had Juan Bravo, community member also on the Planning Commission, John Zobaris, community member and our chamber president and our chamber executive director. Peggy Meisner, a resident of the Senior States, Brianna Spencer, who is the president of the Woodburn Football Club, Judy Marquez, who is a former museum committee member and local resident, Michael Nelson, who's involved in several different things across the community, Michael Robertson, who's a community member in the Boones Crossing neighborhood, Cassie Pankey, a Parks Board member, Ricardo Rodriguez, Park Board member, and Natalie Tomasetsky, another Parks Board member. So just these are pretty obvious for some folks, but I just want to pull these things up. Obviously, folks know where the Aquatic Center is, currently named the Woodburn Memorial Aquatic Center. The name recommended by the committee is the Mill Creek Community Center. The reasoning behind this is Mill Creek obviously spans our community through several spots, and actually, without you knowing it, Mill Creek runs underneath Settlemyre Park. It goes through a culvert through underneath the park there. And so the committee felt that this was a good geographical tie to the community center. It kind of ties in the water components of which we'll have in the aquatic space, plus it provides a nice kind of rebranding opportunity for the community center when it becomes fresh and open to the community. I do want to point out again that this, and I'll probably talk about a little bit of each of these sites. Obviously, we know this new community center is a significant addition as well as rehab to the current aquatics facility that is using 0 general fund dollars, as well as it's using the legislature funds that we received in a grant, and then park SDCs, which again are dedicated funds, as I've mentioned in the past. So in addition to that, there were several other names that came up during the process. And so we presented the idea of possibly naming some interior spaces to the facility. Maybe not the large naming of the facility itself, but providing some heritage and some identity to the inside of the building. So we looked at the event space itself. It's a large event space, going to sit about 180 people. It's dividable into 3 separate spaces. We didn't name the larger space. We're actually working with a possible donor who is interested in the possibility of naming rights for that. They're a pretty significant sum of funds to help assist with this project. So we're allowing the actual larger space to kind of hold off, but we did want to present the option of naming each of the individual spaces. And so when working with the committee, the concept of kind of going through the lineage of Woodburn came up. So starting out with, the Native Americans who were established here in the Willamette Valley and in the Woodburn area with the Kalapuya, and identifying them as one of the possible naming spaces. Transitioning into Jesse Settlemyre. Everyone probably is pretty aware, but Jesse Settlemyre was the first mayor and established Woodburn after purchasing the tract of 214 acres. And so kind of transitioning in that lineage to a Settlemyre room. And then providing kind of some homage to our downtown and as it developed. And so the Medina family, Rogelio and Armandina, the Medinas were what the first Hispanic business owner downtown by our record, and they owned their business Mexico Lindo for 41 years. And so kind of showing that, again, that lineage from the Native American culture to the Justy Settlemyre and then into the next phase of Woodburn. And so this is kind of a rough picture here of kind of a rendering of what it would look like. And so you'd see it on the spaces. We are also looking at doing kind of a 12 by 18 little informational panel outside of the room. So while you're waiting for something, there's some context to the names to provide just a little bit of history, maybe a small picture, but just kind of that soft touch on history. We're in a space now where if you overload people with information, they don't take it in. So if we can just pepper them with these little things and they walk away with a nugget, we've won. So we wanted to highlight that as well. Another piece was the fitness space. Joe Cahu was a professional boxer. Some may recognize this name. He's a professional boxer born here in Woodburn, has some family ties, still in this area, and thought it would be interesting to also look at naming our fitness space after him versus just having a cardio weight space or something like that. Again, with an informational panel, tying some lineage there, some Woodburn roots there, and naming that the Joe Cahu Fitness Room. Next, we're moving into Dove Landing. So Dove Landing is an 8-acre park that was provided to the city through a PUD, planned unit development. And so that was dedicated to the city, and all those improvements were made by using SDC credits. It has a walking path and several other different amenities in this park, a couple of shelters, a restroom. It's great open space. And this one, Councilor Bravo brought this one to the table as well. The concept of tying in a Russian-based name to the location. And so this is in Dove Landing. And so the idea of peace, freedom, something along those lines came up. And so we threw out a few different names, and I asked the committee to give me some time between our meetings to reach out to some folks. And I reached out to someone we've worked with in the past, one of our consultants, and she actually put it out to about 2,000 people in the Russian Slavic population. Not everyone responded, but we do different message boards and things like that, and it's provided a handful of different names. And Meter Park, which means Peace Park, was the one that came out on top. There was some really positive remarks, which kind of that honoring of the Russian community and that heritage. And so Meter Park was one that came up. You can see here, these are just some rough renderings. We're working, obviously following this, we're moving forward on producing signage. But you see Meter Park, and then underneath, it's actually the Russian translation in the Russian text, and then in English, and then in Spanish. So people will kind of get that context there on the signage here. Boone's Crossing is on the south side of town. This is another grant-funded project in Park SDCs. It's if you go to the south side of town, it's darn close to being done. It's probably 80% done. Playground's going up, all the wonderful things, grass is growing in, great things. And so this is a 3-acre park on the south side of town. It looks very much like this, slightly different. Basically, all we're missing at this location left is the finishing of the playground equipment, installing the benches and features, and then the striping and painting of the sports courts. And so this one, it was presented for Trillium Park. And so this neighborhood is identified through all of its streets through flower names: dahlia, iris, sunflower. Trillium is a native Oregon flower that has some Native American ties as well to healing, birth, things like that. And so the concept of Trillium Park was identified, and you can kind of see it. This park would have, this is on the north corner, and then that's the southern corner on the one on the right. All right, now for the big one. All right, so Centennial Park Dog Park, everyone knows where that is. We just got a fantastic facelift. Again, another grant. I'm sorry I have to keep on pointing these things out, but we're really proud of all the work we get in securing outside funds for these projects to make sure we're not dipping into general fund dollars. And so I'm really proud of this project. This was a project we did in-house, but I'm even more proud to mention that the committee recommended it be named Kathy Figley Community Dog Park after our esteemed past mayor, who did more than her fair share to get us to where we are today for the city with the interchange and several other projects. Her passion for the Bassett, her Bassets, and the Bassett Hound Games, the Bassett Hound Rescues, and so many other things she's done on the community. She's sitting still, I believe, at the front desk at Love Inc. She's sat on their board. Kathy is an amazing human, and this is the least we could do to honor her legacy. So with that, I would give her a round of applause.
Yeah.
And the sign is going to be bigger. I've already asked her that. I'm like, that one's too small. That one's too small. So,
Jesse, can I should probably know this, but can I ask you a question about the signs and the consistency of the signs
Yeah.
and what the sign, are these signs going to be what the signs look like?
yes, this is what we've done in the most recent round of signage. And so these are, this is what we've done across the board. Doesn't mean we have to. It's just what are kind of our new sign standard. And that's what we did in the last round of park naming that we did. We actually got these approved. This material is great for maintenance and things, much better than the wood signs that need to be stained. It's acrylic material. So there's some
Right.
positives from maintenance, but yeah,
Thanks.
we can always look at additional education as well and historic. I'm all about, again, peppering people with highlights of history. So. And I also wanted to point out, because this was on the initial list with Senior Estates Park, the committee chose to, after some deliberation, not to rename this park at this time, but to just provide some additional education around. There's some miseducation or misunderstanding of who maintains the park. And so we're going to add some additional education as you're entering the park to do that. But there was some push from others within the committee that really just would like to see it the same. And I actually even fielded some phone calls. So so this one's going to stay the same, but we're going to hopefully provide some education around this on maintenance and things like that. So with that, I'll open it to any questions, comments, concerns. Again, amazing process. I think we got it done in about an hour and a half, and it was fantastic. So thank you.
I want to thank especially the committee members that worked on this, and Jesse for all of his work. I was so honored to hear about Kathy Figley's dog park. I was community dog. I knew she would just light up. And so anyway, like I say, thank you to the committee again. Lots of good work. So with that, it requires a motion.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion to approve the following park and community center names recommended by the ad hoc committee, Park and Community Center Naming Committee for the public parks and buildings spaces. Trillium Park, Kathy Figley, Community Dog Park, Muir Park, Mill Creek Community Center, and Community Center Event Space Room names, Calapua, Settlemire, and Medina, and the Joe Cahoot Fitness Room.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Honor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Jesse, very much. Okay, the next contract award for the biosolids removal project. And I think we have a presenter. Thank you, Curtis. Mr. Schultz.
Council President, members of council. This is a contract award for removal of biosolids and land disposal on farmland for one of three people that proposed, gave us bids on our project. Sorry about that. Basically, we're going to remove 2 million gallons of biosolids, which are about 5% solids from our facultative sludge lagoon. And they're going to be land applied. So they're going to dewater and then haul that product off site. We don't have enough capacity within our own property to land apply all of our biosolids. So that's the solids material that comes out of the wastewater. So just to kind of keep it at that level. So anyway, we usually don't, we haven't done this in a couple of years, probably 5 or 6 years. maybe a little longer than that. The last time that we had done this, we had a 5-year contract for $500,000 a year. So the prices have gone up a little bit, but we'll continue to do this to try and keep everything in check moving forward. And during our next upgrade at the facility, we'll be trying to put some equipment on site that we can do this annually rather than having to have a contractor do all of the work for us. So that's what this contract is for.
Curtis, do we know where the actual site is where the biocides will be applied?
I do not know exactly where they are. Last time we had Ioka Farms out of the hills of Silverton is where we applied it last time. This time we're trying to find areas that are a little bit closer, and that's part of the work that this contractor will do. We'll find those sites so that we can keep the costs down so that we don't have to haul it quite as far.
And we're assured that all DEQ.
Yes. All DEQ requirements are being followed. The testing is done and everything else so that we're not going to be liable for any issues when we're land applying the biosolids.
Great. Any questions from any? Okay, requires a motion.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion to award the contract for the biosolids removal project to Hearn Farms, Inc. at the price of 35 cents per gallon of biosolids removed with a not to exceed total contract amount of $700,000.
All those in favor?
Oh, it's
As-
second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just need a second.
Second, okay, got it. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Planning Commission or administrative land use actions, and there are none. So City Administrator's report, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, Madam Council Chair, Madam Council President and Chair.
Whatever.
I almost called you Mayor. I don't know how
No.
I've gone over. A couple things. A couple weeks ago, I was attending Mayor Largan's at a Council of Governments Executive Committee. And stemming from that committee, I got somehow appointed as chair of the COGS Finance Committee to help them currently navigate what is a significant financial threat to that organization. And so I promptly appointed Tony Turley to that committee as well. And we've been working on and off virtually almost daily, trying to assist the Council of Governments. We're a member organization of the Council of Governments, sort of navigate what is a significant structural financial shortfall that they're grappling with. And I really want to thank Tony for his effort on that. But I wanted the council to know that this is an effort the city is providing to assist COG that serves some 40 member organizations across 3 counties or all local governments. They provide important services to a lot of our communities. And we're hoping that we can help the board and the staff with our expertise to help them to kind of find a path forward. And I feel pretty hopeful about it. But I wanted you to know that we were doing that. And then also, I was fortunate enough to attend a couple of days in Portland at the League of Oregon Cities Conference. I think it was their 100th conference this year. And that's always a good thing. I spent quite a bit of time in sessions, but I also spent a lot of time talking with colleagues from around the state, looking at some of the current issues and current events that are impacting our communities. We've talked quite a bit about some of those impacts in Woodburn. I'm not going to go over them in great detail. You probably know what some of the fears are in various aspects of our communities. And then also just a general financial outlook a lot of our cities are facing. And, I always feel good when I come back from those conferences, feel good to come back to Woodburn. I think Woodburn is faring better than others right now. We hope that will continue. And it was also good connecting with just people I've known in this profession for a long time. And other than that, that's all I have unless there's any questions from the city council.
Okay.
I have a sheet here.
A list of questions?
No, just some announcements maybe just to go over. I won't read through all of this because it is a lot. The gist of it, everybody should sign up for e-alerts. If you go to the City of Woodburn webpage, you'll get emails every week, an e-blast. It's excellent. Tons of information there. There is an upcoming trunk or treat on October 25th in downtown Woodburn. Pony rides, photo booth, costume contests, and lots of treats. The school district is just starting all their week in all the sports going on. And October 23rd through the 25th, the WHS Theater is doing a production of Clue. So that should be fun. And then just national recognition months. It's National Crime Prevention Month, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Yes.
and National Domestic Violence Month. So I think that's it. That's a good general.
That's good.
And then as far as some of us had the privilege of going to the Amazon grand opening a week ago, I think. Pretty amazing. And just a great partner to have here in the city. So we're happy to have Amazon here. That's all I got.
Okay, Councilor Little.
I too went to the Amazon grand opening, and it's just some staggering statistics they presented that there are 30 miles of conveyor belts in that facility, enough from here to go from here to Portland. And they have taken, I mean, Amazon's been in the news over labor issues, but they have taken, I think, some considerable care and thought in designing worker safety and in this facility and ergonomics in particular. And that's something that I think is always important for all workforces. So I also attended the League of Oregon Cities 100th conference in Portland and brought away a lot of useful information to apply, including some additional information on how we should evaluate the council's charges employees. There are 3 of them that are council responsibility for reviewing, and we'll be working on that in the upcoming year. Third, I'd like to just acknowledge the attendance of the Ask Me members that have come here before us tonight. As a former union member and longtime labor lawyer, I recognize the rights and importance of unions in our society. And I would encourage you all to continue the negotiation in good faith through the normal channels that the collective bargaining process offers, and that we support unions. And finally, I'd just like to acknowledge that it is Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's very important for this community, not only from the ancestral peoples that lived here, the Kalapuya tribes, but also current residents. We have very many community members that have indigenous roots from Mexico and Guatemala. And so it's important that we acknowledge these groups and their contribution to our society.
Okay, thank you. All right.
All right. So I also got to attend the League of Oregon Cities conference this year, my first one. It was great. As Scott mentioned, I also felt empowered after coming back from that conference. Every time I turned around, Councilor Wilk, Mr. Popularity over here was talking to somebody different. It's like, okay, can I get some attention too here, Mark? But it was a great conference, really did come back feeling empowered. I think that one of the things I got from the sessions that across the board, I think it reinforced a theme of strong leadership, of collaboration, community partnership, and how that helps create a sustainable community leadership. So very pleased to have been there and learned a lot. Also had the opportunity this past week to meet with co-director for Emerging Unidos, Jesus Gutierrez, talking to me a little bit about their organization and their empowerment of Latino LGBTQ+ and farm worker youth through mentorship and whatnot. Talking to me a little bit about the ongoing support that they're providing to Latino youth, farm worker youth, and especially the community that's facing some complex political issues at this time. So been a busy last couple of weeks, but I've learned a lot. So
Councilor Cornwall.
Yes. I'll go with that. I wanted to share that I was able to go to the grand open house at Station 23, the one off of Butteville Road, the Jervis Fire Station. Got a personal tour by Chief Walker and a young lady by the name of Sky, who's also a firefighter. It was beautiful, beautiful building. Lots of space and very, very comfortable. I think it's very nice, very nice. So I encourage you to go visit it if you have the opportunity to do that. And then also Friday was the second Friday, kind of an art walk. And this week they had entrepreneurs, children entrepreneurs downtown in the plaza. They were set up under tents. There probably were close to 20 different families there with children that had made everything from soap. Some were selling Hot Wheels. Some had things that were 3D printed artwork. It was just really impressive. And then the bungalow had art displays from students from Washington and Nellie Muir. And I was just so impressed by the display and the kids' abilities. I wanted to bring some stuff home, but it wasn't available. So I encouraged the teacher there to make sure these kids keep these for when they get old like me and they can say, look what I did when I was a second grader. I'm really thankful to staff that all participated and helped and continue to keep that running. It's very, very nice and well attended. That's it.
Council President Schaub, I did have a note here I wanted to mention to the city council, and I forgot to get to it. But as you know, the PD continues to struggle to hire for police officers, and we've had a couple retirements and other vacancies. We're now down 9 positions in the police department, and we continue to struggle to fill those positions. So, if you know somebody that is qualified and wants to be a police officer in Woodburn, send them his way. The down 9 positions is a significant number for the police department, and I just hats off to the PD for their staff stepping up and continuing to meet the needs of the community, despite the fact we have such a difficult time recruiting and hiring police officers. The good news, well, I don't know if it's good news. The bad news is if at LOC, you see that this is really a problem that is statewide. Every agency is competing against each other for police officers, and it's getting pretty difficult out there. But we're going to be diligent, and we always have people in the mix. But filling those positions is really tough right now. And 9 positions is not insignificant. And the reason I want the council to know is that there's a lot, there's a high level demand for police services, and you should just know they're meeting those, but they're down 9 positions. So.
Thank you. The police department, I think it's so important that we get these positions filled, and there's really strong competition when you think that other states are even coming to Oregon to recruit. And, here we are having, 9 police officers short in Woodburn alone. So, it's a concern for sure. I've always attended the conferences and the LOC conference this year. I was not able to attend, and it was here in Portland. And, of course, I was raised in Portland. So, I just wanted to go and take pictures to show everybody how beautiful Portland is, that it's safe, there's, no fires, whatever. But anyway, the other thing I did is I also attended the Amazon ribbon cutting. And I think Counselor Wilk really just said it all. This place is amazing. And the only other thing I'd like to say is that I want to thank everybody that appeared tonight. And I also want to thank all those people online. We appreciate your interest. And I hope that our mayor on his pilgrimage to Portugal, France, and Rome comes home safe, knowing what's kind of happening with the shortage, or not the shortages, but the certain layoffs. I'm not going to get into, I'd love to get into a lot of political things, but we're not going to. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody. And with that, I call for a motion to adjourn. Second? Second? Okay, it's moved and seconded. The meeting be adjourned. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.